When we started on the new glide, we wanted to bring to market something that was going to have some of the concepts and the ideas of the original glide updated for 2022. Now, the original glide, even though it was designed as a freestyle winning boat, it was 8 feet long, which nowadays freestyle boats are 6 feet long. But as sort of time progressed and people moved into shorter and shorter boats, so the glide became more of a river runner, even though it wasn't originally designed for that. And there's some things about the boat which were less than ideal for river running, even though they were really good for surfing, playing, squirting, blunting, and things like that. So when we looked at this, we said, okay, let's make a boat that your normal paddler, your average paddler, is going to be able to take down a river with ease, that's forgiving, that's fun, that's enjoyable, class 3, class 4 maybe, not interested in class 5, but it's going to be a great surfer, a great squirter, a really fun boat that will cartwheel, even if it's not going to be the best cartwheel in the world. It'll blunt, it'll do spins and all these cool carving moves and things like that, and be a really enjoyable, comfortable boat to just run down the river with. So we looked at all the half slices that are on the market, and one of the things that we noticed there is that they're almost all around 9 feet, a couple of 8.6s, but basically around 9 feet, with a few notable exceptions. Now that's a lot of boat for a lot of people to fit into the sort of river features that your average person has. And so we decided to go lower than that. This is 7.9, so it's just a little bit shorter than the original glide. But really the main difference between this and the original glide is two important critical things when it comes to the design of the boat and the performance of the boat. The first one is we have a lot more nose volume on this boat. This area of the boat here, it's not half slice big, but it's not full slice small. It's 3/4 slice, if you like. It's cut down enough through here to where you can cartwheel it, you can blunt it. You're not going to flat wheel or cartwheel this thing, of course. But it has enough volume up here to where it is a dry ride down everything from sort of creaky to big volume class 4 runs. It has a lot of nose rocker, so you're not leaning back like the old boats were, the old glide where you were constantly fighting the nose. This thing just paddles down the river nice and easily, lots of rocker in the nose, very forgiving, and you get into this big volume around the center of the boat, and it's a really nice dry ride. Moved to the back of the boat, and we went the opposite direction. The back of the boat is smaller than the original glide. We took out volume mid-deck so that it's easier to squirt. And that makes the boat more enjoyable when just off a paddle stroke you can squirt it and whip it around, any eddy line, even flat water. It's a really fun boat to paddle and a fun boat to squirt. Now, one of the problems, if you like, of the original glide was that if you weren't a really precise and good paddler, it was spanky. You got a good rewards for that because it was very loose, it was very fast, but it was spanky. And it wasn't only spanky on the wave, it was spanky running rivers as well. And so one of the important changes that we've made to this boat from the original glide is the amount of flare and the roundness of the sidewall of the boat over here. We kept the planing surface right at the bottom. That bottom edge down here is about the same width as you would expect on all of our other boats and kind of what the old glide was. But then we widened this area up here at the seam. So this is 27 inches wide, which sounds wide, but the planing area is the same as on our other boats, but it allowed us to really flare the boat, and that makes it very forgiving. And because it's forgiving, you don't feel like the back of this boat is grabby, even though it's lower volume than almost any other half slice out there, and it's lower volume than the original glide. You still have to learn to deal with an edge in the back of the boat. This is a skill set that if you are not accustomed to it, you're going to still have to learn to deal with that. But it's easy to learn to deal with it in this boat compared to the original glide or, in matter of fact, almost every other half slice out there. One quick look at the hull of the boat, and you can see it has a very flat planing hull. It has this first edge over here that pre-releases water, and then your main release edge, and this is the edge that you're carving on. You'll also see it has the speed louvers front and back. And those speed louvers, what they do is they reduce the amount of rocker that the boat has while it's surfing the wave, so it makes it faster on a wave, but the end rocker, the tips of the boat, is still there so that it's easier to paddle, it's more forgiving, you're not going to hang up your edge of the boat. It's kind of like eating your cake and having it. You can see here the very flared sidewall of the boat. And the other thing is, if you look at the carving rail of the boat, it's a clean, even sweep. It's not like the louvers that step out over here. It's a clean, even sweep. And that really makes the carving of this boat very, very, very fluid. And then we can have a look here at the inside of the boat. And you can see our outfitting system. This is the Super Comfy. It has a foam seat in it, which is both warm and comfortable to sit on. Warm for cold water paddling or spring and fall paddling. It moves on Velcro, so you just pop it free, move it forward, move it back on the fly. So you can have your seat centered for surfing and carving, and then you can shift it back slightly if you want to do some surfing or some, running some drops or some squirting and things like that. Very easy to move around. It has a very wide reinforced seat tray that's in the bottom of the boat that helps keep the bottom of the boat stiff. A very comfortable back band here that then adjusts on cam straps. Now, anybody who's tied boats on a car knows that cam straps are a really solid way of doing things. You don't worry about driving down the freeway with your boats on the roof tied down with cam straps. It's a secure system. It's less likely to fail than ratchets, less likely to fail than rope and a cam cleat. And a nice, good, thick, heavy-duty webbing here makes it easy to adjust. And then we have inside the boat a footrest, which is, they're independent, 2 pedals, so that just for comfort reasons you can move it. If you've got one leg that's longer than the other, or your legs aren't flexing properly the same way, both left and right. So you have independent movement of the footrest, like a pedal footrest, but the size is more like that of a bulkhead, and it moves on a jam cleat inside there, so you can loosen it up just by popping your skirt. You reach the side, you loosen it up, shift it forward, you get into something big, you tighten it back up, and off you go. So that is the Glide summarized. This is right now my go-to boat. It's the boat that I like to paddle the most. It's a really fun and exciting boat to paddle. It's forgiving. I feel like when I'm out there with people, I can be running class 4 very easily in this boat. No worries about it. It's sort of creaky stuff to a degree, mostly big water stuff that I'll run in this boat. But then I can also pull up to a really great surfing wave, a really great hole, and just throw down and have a great time doing it. Well, I hope that gives you a bit of an oversight of the boat. It comes in 3 versions essentially: a heavy, strong build and a lightweight build. Now the lightweight build is still strong, it's still a plastic boat, it's just less of it in the boat that allows you to have a lighter, more reactive boat because you don't have the weight there. You can still hit some rocks, you can still bang it up, and if you're the kind of person that abuses your boat, you're going to want to go for the heavy one. We have the Super Comfort outfitting that you see over here, very comfortable, and then we have the power seat, which if you know what the power seat is, it's a fantastic, awesome seat. It's what I personally prefer. But it's not for everybody. If you have any questions about the boat, go check it out on soulwaterman.com and send us a message.